Pounders, welcome. Today we have Nick, NF42, Mr. Miami himself, one ticket chasing a second. How many drafts are you doing this week?
I'm gonna be doing probably 25. 25.
Okay.
I've been averaging about 40 a week.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was gonna say
so
25 is down, but
yeah.
that's all right.
Last week I had 40 as well, and then I think I only had like 15 that were in the top, 2000. So I got kind of my
Mhm.
account got burnt a little bit. So
Oh, dude, you can you can run dry in this contest
yeah,
so easy just because of how top heavy it is.
yeah,
But it's also nice to have that ticket and there's no pressure of like not going, right? And
yeah. I mean, if you can make up for the losses in like other contests, like the BR or
mhm,
there's so many of them, right? But if you can get those losses back, then I wouldn't be so upset about it. Or I
right,
guess bankroll
it's
management is starting to kick in a little bit here. So I
wow,
mean, I lost like a
so
thousand dollars
mature.
in dog bowls pretty much, and
Mhm,
everything else I was even in last week. So
yeah,
it's
I,
time
I
to
saw you.
bring it back.
You've been up there in some battle royales too. Some 1K caches, right, this year?
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
everybody's shooting for first, second, or third.
Oh, that's another contest that's like people don't realize it's super top heavy.
Right.
Um, but what do you think this week? It's sitting at 52.6%. It is Saturday morning. We have about 48, we have about 50 hours or less until kickoff. Where's this thing gonna end up?
I mean, so like every week, it feels like it's been like it has like this slow increase of entries. Even
Mhm,
like the last one, I think it was like sitting at like 70%, like around this time maybe.
mhm.
And I think last week it pretty much almost filled, right? It was like 5,000. I think there was only like 200 entries short of filling,
Okay.
but it seems like it climbs pretty fast towards the end of today and tomorrow morning. So
It People see that overlay and they're like, "Oh, gotta chase that overlay," which is exactly what I'm doing right now. You wanna
right,
jump in with me?
let's do it.
Alright. It's like 7 people, but yeah, it's at 52%. I honestly don't think it goes past like 92% this week. So I do
Mhm.
think there's a chance you see around 500 entrant overlay, so like maybe around 4,700. This does seem like it's slower this week. I know a few people that are scaling back after like going heavy the last couple weeks. So I don't know if that's the case, but
I
at
mean,
that
look, if,
same
if I
time,
hadn't won an entry at this point, maybe you would start getting a little nervous because there's only like what, two more of these to go.
right, right.
Um,
Yeah. 11, 12, 13, 3 more.
Three more to go.
Counting
Okay,
this, counting this.
so pressure's starting to get on for the people that really want to go to one of these events.
Right, right. Waiting on 4 now. A little bit of influence. We're showing a little bit of influence here, but the 11 a.m. streams definitely throwing the pounders off today.
Yeah, so
Gotta
I
keep
thought
them on their
I
toes.
joined in one because I thought we had it queued up.
Mhm.
So I'm in a room right now. I have the some of the usual suspects, copper prices in here. There's
Oh, yeah.
crutches, um, but there's also some people that I'm not too familiar with as well.
Mhm. I
So
was in that room yesterday where it was like a whole room of people that, they're not the typical suspects. It's like, "What did I just get myself into?" And you end up with this team, you're like, "Oh my god, this is the golden child right here."
it's good
It's
and it's bad,
unbelievable.
right? Because obviously, when you're in draft rooms with the usual suspects that are
Mhm.
good drafters, the upside to doing that is if you're in enough of those rooms, you kind of get a feel of which players they like. So you can,
Yeah,
if you like
definitely,
the same kind of player, and depending on
definitely.
where you are in the draft room, you can either try and take that player early because he doesn't make it back to you on the next pick,
Yeah.
But when
It
you're in a
it's
room with people
very
that you don't know, you don't really have information to go on. But sometimes you end up getting not so great drafters that way.
it's very poker-esque, where it's like knowing the people at your table is an advantage, knowing how they play or knowing how they draft
Exactly.
in this case. We get the 11th spot. Charles is next to us in the 12. Uh, Jay O'Donnell, his name looks familiar. B Wakey Way. He's always in these streets. Nick's got the 5. Copper Prices at the 3, and Shock at the 1. Just
So
comes in and positive vibes, and then gets the 1 spot. We'll see if he goes
I don't know
CMC or
about you,
Hill.
Pat, but the 11th and the 12th spot for me feels super bad in the first two picks, but then
Okay.
the next, your fourth and fifth pick to me, I mean, I'm
Mhm,
sorry, your third and your fourth pick,
mhm.
feels really good for
I've
players that
only
I
dude,
like.
I am an absolute spoon this week. I have 4 Tyreek Hill teams out of my 9 drafts.
Wow.
Um, so I've been drafting on the front half. I have 1 on the back half, and I believe it was a Keenan Allen Achane start,
Okay.
which I'll take all day long. I'm assuming it's gonna be between Achane or ETN, and then right, like, what do you do with that? Do you reach up for a tight end and sort of get different, or do you go chalky?
I kind
Um,
of like doing the tight ends because of the fall off. I mean,
and
especially with how the tiers and the ADPs are set up. I mean, those guys that I like don't make it back to you. But
got it.
again, sometimes it depends on how you want to build your team out. Like I've done some two receivers first, and then I like to grab two running backs that I think can hit this week as my third and fourth pick, and then just trying to get a quarterback tight end pair like at the end, like maybe like a Jordan Love or a Luke Musgrave combo.
Mhm.
It
Dude,
just
Sam
really works.
Howell on the thummy because he's just being disrespected this week. Even Purdy against Tampa Bay, like, this team gives up a ton of points to receivers. I think they're
Yeah, absolutely. And Ayuk and
so, like
Samuel are going, and Kittle are all going in the second, third round. So you would think,
yeah,
the quarterback would be, there with them.
exactly, exactly. So Shock does go CMC at 1. Be curious who he ends up with for receivers. I think the toughest part about going CMC at 1 is when it comes back to you, you're typically getting those San Fran receivers back to you.
Hmm.
I think I've done like a CMC DJ Moore, Justin Fields start, but Fields was a 5th rounder the first couple days before we got that certainty that he was playing.
Right.
There's been a ton of risers this week, like Nico Collins, but that was such an easy call. I think I called that on Monday, like Monday's stream. Is like, why would you draft Noah Brown when you could just draft Nico Collins if he doesn't play? Uh, you swap him out for anyone,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
anyone.
I didn't draft any Noah Brown shares. I mean, I did have one team in BR because you get so many entries and,
Mhm.
just to like throw
Yeah,
stuff around. But in Dog Bowl, I didn't have him queued at all.
was Noah Brown wasn't in the top 36, was he, to start in Battle Royale?
Um, no, because he was
I think
going
he was
around the fourth
outside of
round.
it. Right,
Yeah,
so
he was going in the fourth.
you could have drafted Nico and then pick swapped him for Noah Brown if Nico wasn't playing.
Yeah.
I think that was my point that I made on Monday. Give me A-Chain here. Like, I honestly that's what I don't like about the 11 spot. Um, I'm gonna go Waddle with this one because I went ETN with my last 11 spot pick. I went ETN, and I did actually what I said was I skipped over this tier a little bit and just went to Laporta. Whoa,
Right.
Charles. I'm gonna go Waddle ETN, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be chalky, but I don't think I care about
You
that.
gotta you gotta grab ETN when he falls in your lap
Josh
like that.
Jacobs went so late too on the first couple days. Like, you could have got him in this 3rd round area. Now in sharper draft rooms, did that realistically happen? Shane, welcome to the
So
live stream, my man.
in my other dog bowl that I'm queued in right now, we're in the third round. I got Josh Jacobs third round, fourth
Yeah.
pick. So
Yeah, so is he making it back to this Jalen Waddle though? You know what I mean? So, like, I think that could be a nice little reach up on the back end is doing
yeah,
that
sure.
Waddle Jacob stack because a lot of people are gonna have it with Hill.
Yeah, it won't happen often.
It won't happen often is a fact. The first couple days, I guess, would be the only time that you would have seen it because Jacobs, for whatever reason, his ADP was so depressed.
Which I don't understand. I mean, the guy is just a volume machine. I get the the matchup is not conducive for like
Right,
good
right. They
expectations because if Miami just blows them out, you got to think that Josh Jacobs won't be getting the ball much or won't be
yeah,
getting many touches. They're not going to be running the
yeah.
ball that often, but I mean, he's still
Dude,
involved
Jacobs
in their
Jacobs smashes if they're only down by 13 time,
yeah. If they can
maybe
keep the
10,
game
10
somehow
points.
close, he's going to stay involved and he's going to get the
Yeah.
volume. He's going to have 20 plus touches.
I do think it's a little worrisome that he's not getting the volume in the air. Maybe that changes this week though, because obviously against the Jets, that's just a different game script.
Right.
So we could, obviously like you said, they could be playing catch up here in this game and should be playing catch up. I think it's a 13.5 point favorite for Miami.
Yeah.
It's fucking high. So you start with the Monra, you go DJ Moore. Is that with the hope to get Fields?
I mean, he's in discussion. I'm in another draft for him, and I had an Amon-Ra McBride start. I don't want to
Mm,
double down and do the same kind of start. So
mhm.
I'm just trying to throw some variance into the draft.
I love that you track all of your lineups. People might not know that about Nick. He is tracking which combinations he has, which is a great strategy. Um, but that's not to say maybe your fourth piece is different, your fifth piece is different, and maybe you just needed that one tweak.
Correct. Yeah,
Um,
that's where I could go sideways, but but if
shouldn't have
McBride's the
gone.
wrong piece, then he kills two of your lineups. That's kind of my way of looking at it.
Mhm. This week, I basically want a tight end Ingram and up. That's been sort of my rule at tight end.
Yeah, I'm
Or
interested
honestly,
now with Fryermuth because he was a full participant in
mhm,
I think two practices this week, but he's still listed as
yeah.
questionable.
Both of these plays are sneaky. Parham is super sneaky. Like, with Keenan
Oh
Allen
yeah,
dinged up, with Palmer out, with Gerald Everett out, I haven't seen Parham drafted once. I mean, I haven't done too many of these, but I'm
I've
expecting
seen it.
that
I've
he's gonna
seen it. I've
be
seen someone do the Herbert fifth round, and then they needed a tight end. They grabbed Parham. So
I love
I think
that. I
that's the
love
way to
that.
do it.
I love that. Fantasy dysfunctional. Love that Nick is back. Nick has never left. Dude.
I mean, hey, this is cool. I mean, I got the Fields, the St. Brown. We got the whole Chicago, you know, Detroit
Yeah.
game going on.
That's the stack and bring back that's nice. Also, I mean, I guess you could play it on the ground as well. Do you have a strong preference between Gibbs or Monty this week? With Monty going so much later?
I really don't, honestly. I think they're both very viable. I mean, I could see like honestly, I could see a Gibbs and Monty team being in like contention, if you drafted that way.
How about HM Mostert?
I think both these guys can eat. I think they're both going to have their opportunities to
Yeah.
punch it in. I saw a cool like video where uh, Montgomery was on the field for a goal line, and I guess Gibbs was the one who kind of got them in position. So Monty
Mhm.
came off the field and said, Gibbs, you take it, you take this touchdown. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it sucks for fantasy owners that want Monty to score, but it's
Mhm.
cool to see them looking out for each other like that.
Oh, come on. I think this guy's on auto, by the way. This one at the 3-9, which I would have loved Debo for this squad. I would have loved Debo. This does kinda put me in a little awkward position. For me, it's not Mike Evans. I probably have them ranked like this for receivers.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
like Brian Robinson with Gibson out.
I'm definitely going B-Rob here.
Yeah,
Charles needs a running back too, so it just adds to the
I think
likelihood
B
that
Rob and Singletary are like such good plays this week. just for opportunity.
Charles goes Nico and Marquise. It's another option, Nico Marquise in this range, little mini stack. I like that play as well. He's got the double in San Fran, so targeting Purdy, I'm assuming. And for me, I'm just going to go DK here, especially because the last pick was Brian Robinson. We're assuming those touchdowns are being punched in on the ground. No Gibson this week. So if there's going to be a B-Rob week, man,
Yeah, it's gotta be this one, right?
it's
I mean, I
it's
don't know.
this
There's
week,
still,
man.
do you think they're still gonna use Chris Rodriguez? Because
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
gotten some touches.
He's gonna get what, 7, 8 touches? Like, I don't think it's gonna be I don't think it's gonna be at like Gibson's level where, Gibson's out there on third downs and every time they're down 10 or more points. Like we've seen Brian Robinson not play full quarters of the game
Right.
because of Gibson's receiving ability. But Brian Robinson, he scores on like a 60-yard touchdown
Yeah.
reception
Right. No,
last week and goes over 100 yards. Like this dude is capable
yep.
to catch the ball. So I'm definitely excited about B Rob this week. Dude, the Thielen bros, the fading Thielen bros are finally partying. He's come back down to reality. It's been a rough. I never thought my best ball shares, like my advance rates, would be hurting
Mhm.
because of Adam Thielen, like not drafting Adam Thielen
Yeah. I
with the
mean,
rookie QB.
nobody saw that one coming. I think last night in your
Some people like them. Just
I
not a
think
lot of
Pengs on your stream said it best, with Thielen in regards to him.
Justin Herbert's at Keenan Allen
Man,
squad. Yeah,
Walker
Davis is
is
such a fun
balling.
guest. He always brings some good brainstorm to the discussion table. You almost got Terry there. Curious what you do here at running back because it seems like there's so many options.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't necessarily have to go RB here. That just feels like
Just gotta go with him.
when I click Ken Walker, I'm like, man, you're gonna get 10 plus points. I don't think he's gonna bury you, but you never feel great about it.
I'm not sure with Seattle this week with Lockett. I mean, the guy doesn't practice 3 days in a row. I think it's great for Metcalf, like your team. Um, Metcalf had a pretty good line, like a decent line week one when they played the Rams. I think this year he had a touchdown on
Yeah,
70 yards with only like 3 receptions. I'm pretty sure. But
yeah,
if Lockett's out of this game, I just feel like Walker might be a Seattle piece that boosts.
definitely. No, I agree. Like Metcalf, he's not gonna get more targets than, like 14, 12. If he stays in that range, though, like fantasy points are coming for DK. It's been frustrating. And every time he's on the slate, there's a certain point where like I'm gonna have a certain amount of Metcalf. And it
Mhm.
hasn't hit yet. So he's been frustrating. But like on the other end, it's like we're on Mike Evans and he's hit multiple times this year.
Right.
So you
And
win
and
some, you
Walker
lose some with
and
these guys.
with Walker as well though, he's also just intriguing because it's like he's getting Charbonnet is like getting equal amount of snap count share,
Mhm.
but they're just utilizing Walker so much more than Charbonnet. But
Yeah.
you know what I
Who
mean?
cares? Who cares if he's on the field more if he's not getting the touches?
Right.
That's the way I see it. Like Kenneth Walker's getting his fair amount of touches.
Hmm.
Saquon Barkley in the fifth seems a little insane to me. I know it's literally the only thing the Giants have,
Yeah.
but he seems like he's safe for 10 points. Like this is against Dallas. You can't even really count
Yeah.
that
He's
game,
gonna
in my
get
opinion.
he's gonna get 15 touches. I mean, who knows what he does with them?
Minimum.
The thing that probably scares people with Barkley is that the Giants aren't going to be on the goal line much. They're probably not going to be near the red zone with Tommy DeVito under center.
Mhm.
Um,
But do you need your fifth rounder to absolutely smash? You know what I mean?
No, some of these teams that advanced have had tight ends that barely, broke the slate. We're talking six
Yeah.
points. I
We've
think we've
we've
seen
seen
teams with like Jacoby
zero
Myers with like
0 points
9
at tight
points.
end. Like,
Yeah. I think
we've
as
seen
long as
some.
you have four pieces correct, you potentially could use like a guy like Barkley.
I agree. That's 100% how I see it. Poor CWAT, man. Are you completely off the CWAT train at this point?
I have one team with him, but
Yeah, you're
I'm
off.
not
You're
I'm
off.
not drafting too much anymore.
Dude, there's one dog bowl that we were at like 28%.
Yeah, but what was the matchup? I mean, I think it was
Oh,
such a
it's probably a
it was
bomb
like a
matchup. It
juicy
was like
matchup. I think it was Minnesota or something like that.
it was. It was like second game back off injury.
Yeah.
The unknown was just too sexy. So we're gonna go Brock Purdy here naked. No, I'm just kidding, Charles. It's just like, oh man, this is Ridley's gone, but Ridley's usually a quick back stack with T Law here at the end. I don't
Honestly,
need.
Brock Purdy is probably the best quarterback on the board for matchups.
I'm probably gonna lean with Gino just for the correlation.
Uh-huh. I think Metcalf can. Sorry, I shouldn't talk you in. Go cards is probably like shut the fuck up.
Now, I'm gonna go Gino anyways because I do think there's a chance that this game goes north of 48.5 points. Um, if that's the case, it would be nice to have an LA Ram,
Yeah.
but we're gonna lock in Gino here, and I think Parham's sneaky play probably under 5% owned. If Freiermuth, if they weren't playing Cleveland, I'd
Mhm.
probably be mixing in Pat Fry a little more than I don't feel like he's the best click right now. Even Njoku seems like a pretty good click.
You like Njoku, huh? With this whole
Yeah,
quarterback
he's
debacle situation going on?
he's been steady. I just think like you're pretty much guaranteed like a touchdown from Parham this week. Or Eckler's putting 2 plus in the end zone.
Oh no, I love Parham. I think this is a great situation for him, especially where he goes undrafted.
Palmer's out, Gerald Everett's out. Like, who's playing? Guyton, and Guyton's hurt too.
And
Questionable to groin
they love
injury.
Parham on the goal line. Like he's a
Yeah,
huge target for Herbert.
100%.
I mean, he doesn't seem to do much outside the goal line, but
Right. His ceiling, it's sad, but his ceiling is probably what, like 15 points?
I mean, you're really hoping for two touchdowns on like 15 yards for a guy like him,
Right.
with how they utilize him.
But in this case, I think he could get more involved with no Gerald Everett. It's a different I think his ceiling is definitely higher this week versus any other week this season. Let's take a quick peek at
100%, 100%. There's any week to
s
draft him, it's definitely this week.
so Quentin Johnson's kind of a sneaky play too. I know he's he's underperformed every week, but again, Parham, this is gonna jump up to 60% plus, like guaranteed, probably around 70% plus.
Nice. I got my first James Conner share for Dog Bowl.
Wow.
Feels good.
Dude, getting James Conner at the end of the 6th is almost
Awesome.
it's pretty criminal.
Yeah, give me that volume, right? I mean,
Yeah.
seems like he's good to go. There's no competition for him in that backfield. I mean, he didn't have any like receiving work, but
Mhm.
traditionally in the past, he's done pretty well like through the air. So maybe he can get like a couple catches.
Shock trauma with CMC, Stroud, Schultz, Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins, Charles with George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Nico Collins, Marquise Brown. We donate Brock Purdy. No, I'm just kidding. And Derrick Henry. And again, Derrick Henry in the 6th or even like late 5th feels really good. Just from like a ceiling standpoint. The fact that these guys are still around, like who would you rather have? James Conner or like Jaden Reed? And of course, like
Yeah,
anyone
from a
can
volume
outscore one
standpoint, I like
another.
Connor, but yeah, like you said, I mean
Exactly.
Reed's had three better games, or he's had better games than technically Connor. With the his last game was better than Connor, so on paper, anything's possible.
I like the second game back from injury for Connor. And I think if he comes back and he has a big first game, like obviously he wouldn't be going where he is right now. Jumping into a second one. Oh, I just 12 out of 12 did, bro.
Damn.
I
All
just
right, so
12 out of
I'm
12 did.
gonna I'll be a backseater here.
Okay. And we're on the back end again. So now we're getting punished on the live stream. I just want everyone to take notice that it does happen. It does happen to me. Oh, look at the 11. Just let Achan be there. It's weird because, like, of course, ETN can outscore Achan on any day, but
Yeah.
and ETN's been so good. Even before this, he had like 3 games in a row with 2 touchdowns.
ETN is good just because of how they utilize him, and they use him so much. I mean, sure, last week wasn't a great game. It wasn't also a good matchup, right? Um,
Right.
you know, I feel safe drafting him because I know he's going to be involved, and there's an opportunity for him to do well. If he doesn't, then there's nothing you can really do about that. But
Yeah, like, can you that's the thing, like, sure, you can go Waddle Tua on the back end, super chalk at this point. Um, it doesn't feel good going, like, you could go Stroud McBride, I guess, at the 1-2 turn. That just seems like you're at such a disadvantage,
I
like,
think you're just if you're doing that, you're shooting
such
yourself.
a
You're shooting yourself in
disadvantage.
the foot, in my opinion. Especially because people can get Stroud and McBride realistically with like a CD Lamb,
Yeah, and
Tyreek Hill. I like you get a CMC Shroud McBride.
Stroud falls, like, these QBs fall to the 3rd,
So
to the
how are you out
4th.
competing like unless CMC Hill Lamb St. Brown those
Right,
four players are busts? How is
right.
your third pick competing against those four players?
Mhm. Yeah, how are you outcompeting a Eckler, Kittle, like, Josh Jacobs team? It's just like,
Yeah.
probably not.
You need to have the nuts, like the absolute nuts correct. Like whether that's maybe like Singletary who smashes above them or something like that. That's the only way.
And it's a game of odds, right? Like, opportunity, what's the chances it's gonna happen? Anything can happen once. I'm not chasing that, I'd rather chase the outcome that's most likely to happen.
Right.
Tanner, does Tanner have a ticket? He's
Uh,
he's always in these.
you know what? You keep an eye on the draft board. I'll check some of the results.
Dude, Dak at 5. Oh, let's
Crazy,
go, that helps, that helps. That
crazy.
means we're getting one of these, but I don't want it to be Gibbs,
We have
realistically.
a rogue player in here.
Yeah, this draft's getting thrown out. This is sorry, this is just probably a waste of time.
It depends on his
Well,
next pick.
Eckler at 6, like, all these picks are gonna feel good up until what? Up until if I had to rank this right now, honestly, it probably looks like this.
um. Wow. Yeah. It's tough putting Diggs
Yeah,
down below them, but hey, it's nice when somebody else wants to take a chance on him too.
100%, 100%. Tanner says, "No ticket for me yet. You've been in these streets grinding. Can we get Keenan Allen at the 11? Is that allowed? Is that legal?"
I'm sure it's happened already, right? When he was questionable and
Yeah,
that shoulder cue popped up on him, I'm sure
yeah,
he was getting drafted around the 11th spot.
definitely, definitely. Motherfucker. Denied all good things. We get denied all good things. We'll go Gibbs here. It's probably gonna be my only share.
You got to have at least one share, just in case, like break in case of emergency team.
Hmm.
But now, how do you want to play your second pick?
I skip this range. Maybe I just go right to Ayuk. Maybe I go to Kittle.
I
I
think
do
Kittle
want to
and
do
Ayuk are unique.
I want to do a little skip skip the chalk. It could be weird, something like see,
I would say Kittle or
Tua
Ayuk,
worries me.
whichever one you're feeling.
Let's go Ayuk here.
Yeah.
Let's go Ayuk. Could go Fields and DJ Moore, but what I worry about is those early drafters having Gibbs, a second rounder, and then DJ Moore and Fields in the 4th
Yeah.
or even the 5th.
Yeah. Hmm.
Chad, welcome to the live stream. AC Cards, you mean you got Jacobs at the 4, 5, and a BR, right? Well, I have Jacobs in the 6th round on day 1. My first draft, like he wasn't even going
Jacobs in the
drafted.
6 on Dog Bowl.
No, in Battle Royale, like my first
Oh,
draft had Jacobs last pick. I'm like, this should not be a thing. I instantly sent it to the the Pounders Patreon. This
well,
should not be a thing.
at this point, man, in BRs, sorry to say, but I've done, like 100 plus at this point. I've seen some Jacobs last night going undrafted. So people are
Damn.
starting to just like kind of, do what they want because it's such a huge slate, man. There's so many combinations of
Oh
players.
yeah. Yeah, Brian Robinson's down there and he's obviously on the rise,
Dog
like
Bowl's a little different because
Singletary.
almost all the players that you would like are drafted, but in BRs, there's so many players by the time the draft ends that you can scroll down and be like, this guy could be, this guy, that guy.
Definitely. Charles says Monday, Allen, Barkley, Singletary, Diggs, Ayuk, Ingram. That's solid. Like I don't see a weak spot there. All right.
Oh my, I
The
am sorry.
dogs are in the house.
Intruders.
Cup Tank, Stephon Diggs, Josh Jacobs. Okay, he goes Puka. What's this pick going to be? Brandon Cooks. Fergie.
I would assume it's a Pollard, right? I mean, if he's going to correlate, that'd be the best piece in my opinion, even though he's been awful.
But how do you like
It
onslaught
can't be
Dallas
Cooks.
without
It just can't
Lamb?
be.
It's auto. Oh, come on, man.
This is
Come
this draft
on.
is done so. This draft's getting burned.
Nick's already reporting it. Nick's.
What? What is that?
Dude, this
Who
guy,
who is this? Who is this?
we got to find search on Twitter. Search on Twitter. He owes me 30 minutes of my rate, which is on YouTube roughly 39 cents an hour.
Oh
Sam
boy.
Laporta, Trey McBride. So it's just
Does
gonna,
anybody in the chat want to guess his third overall pick? Who's it gonna be?
buddy. Honestly, it should have been Brandon Cooks. Like that would have been better.
Would have made a little more sense.
But would it? Guyton. This guy is just on some website that's like people to play this week in your flex in a 20-team league.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be on some Percocets. Too many
Dude.
this morning.
And he gets
He's not
to
reading. He's not reading the names correct on
he
his
gets
screen.
Tua Hill. I haven't seen Tua make it all the way back to the Hill team yet.
Has a dog bowl ever been thrown out though? Like I haven't had any yet. Have you?
No, I haven't had one.
Because of how like random it is outside of one player, like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't technically throw the room off too much when you have a player doing stuff like this.
2 players though in a row
Where's the
is a
second player?
huge advantage
Oh yeah, well two, but it
for
doesn't shift it too much.
dude, this guy just got Tua Hill. That's gonna be an under 5%.
Well, yeah.
Nick,
So
like
basically, if the Tua Hill is under 1%, then this draft gets thrown out.
it won't be. I don't think it'll be under 1%. I think it'll be around like 1 or 2. I don't think it'd be under.
So I think the rule of thumb though is 1%.
Okay. 1% like on the dot and under, or like 1% all the way up until 1.999.
Yeah.
We
We're
need
gonna
the
pass.
we need the
We're gonna have to ask
calculator.
around.
Yeah, we'll get back to, week 15. Stroud, Nico, I like
Week
this.
14, I think.
Is it
Isn't
the
it
week
week
f
14?
Yes, you're 100% correct. Yes, week 15 is the first week of,
Playoffs.
uh yeah, exactly. Paul, welcome to the live stream, my man. Best part about this stream is I don't have to worry about YouTube being in my BR dress right now. Shit. That's a good thing. I'm trying to fade you too, my man. I'm
Vice
trying to
versa,
fade you
right?
too. Yeah, it's DK gone. Debo, if you're out there, just hold on.
Oh, you wanna go,
I would
like, full onslaught?
I'll onslaught. Yeah, against Tampa Bay. You're basically saying that, Kittle doesn't punch any in, CMC, he can still get one. That's a tough part. It's like you need Gibbs basically to
Makes sense.
outscore
You need
this
Tampa Bay to do
range.
well too, though, because you're talking about a team that's gonna be passing, which means it's gonna be either close or they're behind, right?
Debo gone. Now I would contemplate naked fields.
Man,
Stroud's
it's
gone.
it's gonna be crazy if Pollard is on the board still, because that's a ADP outlier for you. But I do still like
I know.
Singletary, as well. Like
Dude,
this
I
Gibbs
abs
Pollard combo is pretty nice. Um,
I'll do it for I feel like that is such a battle royale way of thinking though, right? It's like uniqueness where you're trying to like solo ship.
hey man, well if he actually punches one in against the worst run defense in the league, and you're the only team that
If
has Gibbs
if
and Pollard, it makes sense.
if it's gonna happen, it would be this week, but I feel like we would have seen some sort of flash by now.
I know,
And
and his
I think a lot
utilization
of it
is trending the wrong way, but I mean,
honestly, I think it's good for the Pollard people next year. Like people don't remember like he was hurt. He got hurt in a playoff game last year, right? Like broke his leg. Like so I don't think we're really seeing a fair I was gonna go Terry there. Maybe we just switch it up and we go
what about the
I,
Evans?
I
What about the
like
game stack?
I like Terry. I don't love it,
What about Marquise Brown?
but we'll do it.
Oh no, don't do Kincaid. Get your tight end. Get Kincaid.
I like
Yeah,
Kincaid.
get
It was
Kincaid.
between
Yeah, yeah, yes.
can definitely go Mike Evans there. I
There's
just
so many good
think he
receivers.
gets
Not good, but there's serviceable receivers by your next pick. Whether or not you want to do like a Godwin game stack, or maybe you want to
that's the
you want to get
small
one of
benefit.
the Jaguars receivers like Ridley or Kirk.
Right. I think that's
The
a
tight
small
ends are
benefit
going
by
to be like
picking
awful.
on the back end is like after pick like 6, these last 5, like when you got James Conner last draft, I think that's extremely, extremely strong because typically a player like that is not left available in that range.
What
Like
was
if
Guyton's third pick, by the way? I missed it.
oh dear. It was someone normal. It was someone normal.
Like what?
David Montgomery.
I know, but like, how do they go off the rails the first two picks and then they like kind of bring it back in?
Get your guys.
I guess so. But wouldn't he get David before Guyton then? If he was going to get his guys?
Yes. Yes. It doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna try to make sense of what he did. It doesn't make any sense. Um, it could be a Dotson Howell team too. Could be Dotson Howell. We'll see who comes back to me, but
Well,
I
let's
need
see. Let's see the receivers on the board. Obviously, Marquise Brown, if he's there, right?
yeah, oh god, yeah. But
Okay.
he's the next
I
best
know we're
available wide
assuming things,
receiver.
but if he's on the board, right? Do you like Kirk?
Oh yeah, these 2 are automatic locks.
Okay. What do you
So
think about?
if I had to rank this, I'd even add Thielen in the discussion just as a mini stack.
Okay, I
And
like that.
then this is probably like a Purdy, Ayuk squad, but if that doesn't work, kinda okay with naked Goff with I guess it's not completely. With
No,
Gibbs,
Gibbs is good for him.
Howell, like, this is kinda what goes through my head with this team right here. I'm fine with
So you're
adding
you're definitely off
Lockett.
like guys like Ridley. Hopkins.
No, and you can do this too. You can go there's so many options on the back end. I've done the back stack, Trevor Lawrence, Ridley.
Mm,
Um, I don't think it's a bad thing to do it again. And I'm fine with Hopkins too, it's just a one-off. I'd probably put him above Jahan Dotson,
same.
but if Purdy for some reason goes if we add DeAndre Hopkins, what's that do? We're just going naked QB at that point, which I
I
guess
mean,
is
I
fine.
have to put Ridley above Dotson as well, man. Just from
Oh,
like
yeah, it's
I know his
it's
stats have been so awful and he's been terrible, but from like a skill point of view and just hoping he's eventually gonna rebound. Like he's gonna have that game. Like there's no way he
mhm,
goes the rest of the season without
yeah.
being like a top 5 receiver.
He's being affected by, I think, play calling and just the routes that he's running. He's not running the high percentage routes where you have, you know, Kirk just underneath eating. If Zay Jones comes back this week too, like Zay's a major factor in the red zone. Like T-Law just trusts him.
Well, Doug Peterson basically said, in regards to Ridley not being as productive as people would like it is because of just how teams are playing them. They're
Mhm.
giving him tough matchups with like putting players underneath his routes and just like taking him completely out of game scripts. But he said
Yeah.
they're gonna still try and get the ball to him as much as they possibly can. It's just teams are just looking for it,
Yeah,
which
and
opens
there
up the
was
field for Kirk. That's why you're seeing these big Kirk games for 100 yards. I mean, because they're just so focused on Ridley.
there's one week that Kirk was doing nothing the whole game, and then he breaks like a 50-something yard touchdown the last drive. But there's been games where like Ridley has been in the back of the end zone and he could have caught 2 touchdowns and he's out by like an inch and a half. So there's a little bit of bad luck. Yeah, Shock says Kirk D-Hop. Lock it. Lock it in.
Lockett, I'm a little scared of now because of the did not practice 3 days in a row now with a hamstring. He's obviously been in
Mhm.
every game that he's been listed as questionable, but I don't know in the past if he's been, you know, DNP for
3
3 days in
days
a
in a
row.
row
I think he's been like
is
a limited participant at some point in those practices, but 3 DNPs usually lead to players not playing.
but that's a good thing. Like, if I'm drafting Lockett there, then
You
I'm
want to
just pick
swap?
swapping him automatically for JSN. Like, I don't
Is JSN available?
all the time. He doesn't even
Okay.
get drafted.
Okay.
So, like, that's sort of where
At least you're
if
hoping in the rooms that you took Lockett, JSN wasn't picked.
that's I'm keeping note of that. Like, I'm making sure, like, if JSN for some reason goes, and I guess in this case, we wouldn't know.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think there's a reason to draft JSN until you have that news, though.
I mean,
Like,
he's
I wanna
been
get
relevant even with Metcalf and Lockett. I
he's
mean,
they're running a ton of 3 wide receiver sets, but
yeah,
what it would do for him if Lockett's not there is much bigger than,
yeah, 100%.
you know what I mean? So I wanna get my shares that way.
Man, does Kirk make it? You have 2 people to fade.
They both need a receiver, though, or I guess he
No,
just needs a
tight ends.
flex.
Tight end here.
Uh, he would have to go tight end if he's worried about B
I
Wakey
mean,
Way.
Thomas, if someone really isn't on Thomas or Luke,
Okay.
man, this is the worst usually when you're like 1 pick away from a player that you like. Oh, man, just threw a dagger in your heart.
Um, for
Quarterback
me
first. Quarterback first.
and there's no Purdy too, kinda get
You could go
absolutely
Geno Lockett. You could go Trevor Ridley.
both are in play. Let's go Geno Lockett because I think if Lockett doesn't play, I'm completely fine with pick swapping him for JSN, and then having Geno there could be a little unique
You could have
combo.
also went like Baker Godwin. That might be threading the needle a little bit
Baker Godwin, yeah,
because
that's fucking
God
balls
because
of
Godwin's just
steel.
not hasn't been great. It's just been average. It's been mid.
I think this could be a good game for him, though. Like, I think they end up shutting out or shutting down Mike Evans. I think you see Godwin eat for his typical, like, well, this is probably below his average. This is more
His last 2
5
games
catches
are
for
consistent.
54
Yeah,
yards, a
exactly.
touchdown.
Yep.
We'll see. I do think Godwin has a better game than Evans, but Evans is obviously like the best ball. He's the
Dude,
ticket
Garrett
guy.
Wilson might have been a fun pick for your team too with the Kincaid.
I don't. I don't love Garrett
I mean,
Wilson
dude,
anymore.
look at
Dude,
his targets, bro. I mean,
I
come on.
know,
You're chasing. That's
but
what you want. You want
that's what you
14
want.
targets, man.
But you want touchdowns. You need, yeah. I should be probably mixing him in. I
With the
100% agree.
Kincaid stack, I
I
think
like
that
him more than Amari
we should have
Cooper.
went Wilson for this team. That would have been real sick.
Yeah, but then who are we going to QB? Like, I'm fine with going Wilson there if Purdy's available and I have some sort of correlation, I
Yeah,
guess.
you're not taking obviously you're not taking Wilson. But you go naked, maybe like Jordan Love, getting a good matchup against the Chargers.
Mhm.
Maybe you go naked Lawrence at that point for scrambling ability.
Kenny Pickett's disappointment this year. We'll see if he can pick it up in the back end. It won't be this week, but, with Pat Fry back, that should help him. Yeah, it gets ugly here. I think if you're drafting Cup, more often than not, you should probably be drafting Staffy.
Oh, 100%. One did the guy who took Purdy on that team, did he have like anything to correlate with him?
I don't know. Oh, he had
So,
Debo. I'm cool
okay.
with that.
So he
I'm
wanted
cool
to
with
do
that.
Debo and Purdy because Purdy's
And
got the better matchup on paper.
and you're never gonna do anything 100% of the time, right? Let's jump into another one
I'm in.
before
Hold on. Let me test the waters first.
oh, plus 10. Plus 10. You're never
Plus
gonna do
9.
anything 100% of the time. Like, how many teams would you want if you go Cup? How many teams do you want Stafford with Cup? And for me, it's probably like 70%.
Now, what are the
And I
odds
want
that draft for him is getting thrown out?
probably like what 10%. I don't think it's super high. I don't think it's super high.
I like your team if it doesn't.
Yeah, I like how that team turned out. I like how that team turned out. For some reason though, like I want to be all in on HN this week because I think his ceiling can easily match or exceed any player in the first round. He's also direct leverage off of Tyreek Hill and just feels good to have one Miami piece in this game against Vegas.
Mhm.
I don't see a world in which they don't put up 24 points. So to
Oh
not
yeah.
have a piece of that is I don't
But
know.
then this Mostert value is insane too, though. Like, what if Mostert is the
Yes.
guy that punches in 2 touchdowns and it's not A Chain?
Yes.
You're getting him in the
Yes.
fourth round for free, and he's the cheapest Miami piece right now on the slate. And technically,
I,
he's the starting running back
right,
on
and
paper.
he's again, he's leverage against he's the cheapest piece, and he's leverage against the top 3 guys, so
So I think
I
that's where you
100%
can.
agree with
I
that,
think
man.
that's where you can really explode a lineup is with Mostert.
I 100% agree with that. Dude, we took this thing from 10 to 3.
The power of the Pounders.
Well, it's nice. In a way, it's like, alright, streaming was all worth it just so I could fill rooms faster, you know what I mean? That's plus EV right there. That's plus EV. If you guys haven't already, go down, make sure you smash the like button. Follow Nick on Twitter. Link is in the description. Let me add that. 40 what?
That was a fun stream last night, going over the
Okay.
BBM teams. How's your portfolio so far looking for playoffs?
For BBM, it's interesting. Like I was drafting really well early on.
Okay.
Like I was crushing the May drafts basically. But as it went on, and I think it has to do with like releasing my draft guide to everyone that follows me, those same people are in my draft room. So I end up with 18% Lockett, and I aggressively ranked Lockett above JSN, above Chris Godwin, above like that whole tier. So I would have probably ended up with near 28 to 30% Lockett if it weren't for my followers coming in and like taking Lockett from me.
Right,
So I will
right.
say there is a downside to drafting with people that know your
Portfolio and what you
portfolio,
like.
right? So next year, it'll be a little more plus EV because that draft guy is not going to be free. It's not going to be expensive, but there is at least one barrier away from like not just going in the Discord, clicking and be like, "Who's Pat like?" You know,
Well,
and
or
then
at
jumping
least
in
just
draft.
or how many drafts did you do on stream for BBM? I mean,
I
you have like
probably
a
did.
idea?
I probably did 100.
Yeah, so maybe you limit it to like 50 to 75 for streaming, and then you saved the
Yeah,
other half for off stream. So,
yeah, for sure, for
because it is a
sure.
big investment, especially if you're going to max it.
And it's an unforgiving contest, only advancing 2 of 12, and it's kinda weird, like, my portfolio is just decimated with injuries, so if I can reach 16%, it's a huge win.
Yeah,
It's a huge, huge win. My top 2 ownership QBs that I was, like my all-in QBs, like Daniel Jones at 16% was my highest,
yeah, yeah,
um, and a lot of those are 2 QB teams, I believe, with Daniel Jones.
yeah. My biggest miss, I in my top 5 picks, I had 17 and almost a half percent of Alan Lazard. So,
But, like,
unfortunately, burned on that one because of the Rodgers. But
overall, I'm extremely happy with, like, my exposures to players. There's a few players where it's like, okay, I leveraged one side of the take, and that take, whatever, didn't hit, like Kendry Miller over the Kamara. Then you have injuries to Jamal Williams. You have injuries to Kendry. It's like, well, fuck. Like, of course, Kamara is gonna smash. I think we see him come back down to earth now with Jamal back, but some
not
of the
even with
takes,
Jamal, just with Taysom Hill too. I mean,
yeah, and that was
yeah,
always gonna be a pain in the ass, for sure, for sure. The small stuff like that, and that's just flip of the coin shit. We see CMC go with 3 here. Tanner, welcome to the live stream. Oh
all
my
right, might
god.
might have his ticket to Miami. We'll see.
Dude, Monk, man.
That might be it.
Oh, I love you, man. I love you, man. What can I get an Amon-Ra share in this contest?
Nope.
Um, let's go Coop. I'm going Coop here.
Yeah, I think he's obviously if you're thinking about one of those 3 receivers, I think he's definitely ahead of those Dig and Allen picks. I think honestly
Look,
after Cooper, there's a pretty big drop off for receiver.
I'm gonna try to game stack this one. We'll see if I'm probably gonna try and make this like a Cup, Metcalf, Staffy. We'll see how the room falls. So up in 11 picks, around pick 19. Just kind of scroll down. Like tight ends in that range. Don't mind Ayuk. That's a good range. Not double stacking. Puka and Cup.
All right.
Is this just a
I'm not
Diggs
I'm
pick
not
for you?
afraid. I'm a little afraid.
So how many times you stacking, like when you go Diggs here,
Yeah.
we're assuming what, that he gets 19 plus points, maybe 20
I
plus
mean,
points?
honestly, week 1 against the was it week 1 against the Jets? Did they play
Yes.
week 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had a good
Rogers.
game, man. I mean, he had a touchdown and like 100 yards. I mean,
Mhm.
I get it. Jets defense and Sauce Gardner is the thing, but it's still Stephon Diggs.
It seems like they play up to, like, the skill level of their opponent. So, like, yes, the
Right.
Jets defense is good, so, like, Josh Allen will probably have a decent game. They'll end up losing, but but they'll have a good
And
game.
there's a lot of pressure on this team. Like they're not like just like going into this game like, with a huge amount of confidence because of how their team's been playing. I mean, they got to start like
Yeah,
pushing the pedal down. So
yeah.
hopefully, that helps Allen and Diggs, and they can figure shit out.
I agree. It does seem like Josh Allen going at pick 20 is a little egregious when we know he can still get there on the ground, like, pretty damn consistently. Um, yeah. they're losing games, and that's weird. But from a fantasy football standpoint, like multiple games, 30 points over fantasy points, like I don't know if I'm going CJ Stroud over Josh Allen this week. May seem crazy how good Stroud's playing, but
Sorry, what was that? Sherrod over who?
I'd
Allen?
I'd rather Josh Allen this week over Stroud.
I think you could argue either side of that coin based on how Stroud's been playing.
Keep calm and Marshawn. I like that. For me, it's Kittle or Ayuk in this spot. I probably prefer Kittle. Yeah, it's probably maybe we do this.
Uh-oh.
Maybe we just do a small reach up. Get a little different.
Oh, I thought you were
Because
just
how
saying
many of those teams are going to be cut by Ayuk, right?
a lot.
A lot. A lot. So getting that little switch combination where
But
it could
Samuel
be a Debo
probably
week.
Samuel probably comes back in the third round often to the cup teams too. So
But
your
that's
third
okay.
pick has to be a little different.
But that's okay because now if you get a same player in that same range that Debo was
Right.
going, where you typically the only way you'd be able to do that is like being able to
Yeah,
select
that's
like
how you have
Cup
to
at
do it. You have
1.
you have to dig for gold here in your third pick and make sure it's a
Right.
winner.
But like you can't go too far. It has to be in that same range. And I'm completely fine with going in that same range.
Right.
Especially because there's so many RBs that we like here. Right. It would be
Yeah.
weird if like Josh Jacobs or Demont come back or Tony Pollard even, because then it's like, why did you reach up for Debo in the first place? So I do like the fact of getting one of these RBs that goes in the same range of Debo, where you typically can't select 2
Or
players
a
in that
running
same
back that
range.
doesn't necessarily make it back to your fourth pick, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that's fine too. Yep.
But it's just tough to because like this landscape always shifts like since day one. Like I would say
Mhm.
Singletary and Robinson are good because they don't make it back now, but they did in
But
the
they did
past.
earlier. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
so it's
agree with
like
that. Definitely agree with that.
I mean, especially Singletary going like fifth round early on was crazy.
Definitely, and that was because of the uncertainty with Dameon
Pierce.
Pierce. Fuck, dude. This might have to be a naked Tua team. Like, I just think it's I hate it because Tua, it's just such a condensed offense. Charles says you're not game stacking, by the way. You said you're not game stacking that game. You freak.
No, technically you still can. You got Walker available.
Dude, fuck me, man. Like, I'm just I know that it just completely defeats the purpose
Mhm.
of what we did, but I can't let Tua slide any
This room
further.
is really bizarre. It's a bizarre room.
The fact that the Tyreek Hill team lets up on Tua, where was the Waddle team? Waddle team was super far out. He wasn't gonna get him anyways. It's like we went Tua here at 19, and then we got Debo at 30 at ADP. It's basically
Yeah,
we just went,
yeah, exactly.
but I'm completely
That's how
fine
it
with it.
feels.
We
Exactly.
just cock block the room, and we're gonna make it work.
Fuck me. Just take him.
The problem with the Moser is he doesn't catch passes. So I feel like when you do this and your team doesn't make a ton of sense, you have to hit on scroll down players. That's we put ourselves in a shit situation. We should have 100% just let Tua go. That's
I think Prescott could have made sense because then if you really want Fergie, you can get him in the fourth round. You can get Cooks.
see, that worried me
I like
because
Fergie better than Cooks, but
he was the next best available tight end.
Yeah.
And with 3 teams to pick twice, what are the chances? And I guess we'll find out
Right. Yeah.
if they would have gone Fergie or not. But I'd probably go Fergie there first, right? Because naked Dak probably has a better chance to make it back to you um,
No, I think
than
people.
Fergie.
I think people would take Dak before Fergie.
But with Tua also on the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, Tua would have to be the first QB off, then yeah, so Fergie goes. Fergie Ferg. Fergie Ferg.
All right, let's fire up some Aaron Jones this week, huh?
What are your thoughts on Cole Kmet without Justin Fields? Like, if Kmet hits, do you need Justin Fields?
No, I don't think so. I don't think. I mean, with how we've seen this contest and these lineups, having like any tight end naked or with quarterbacks, I feel like
Mm,
I think if it's the right tight end, you're good. That's just because like some teams are winning tickets with like a George Kittle that scores 6 points. Like so, if
yeah.
Komet puts up 13 points, doesn't necessarily mean that Fields is going to have like a 30-point game.
Mhm.
You could still have a serviceable quarterback
But
and not being Fields.
but if he has, let's say he has one of his ceiling games, he's had what, 2 or at least 2 games with multiple
Okay, if
touchdowns.
if Komet has like 25 points, 30 points, then you
How
need
about
Fields.
how about how about 18? How about 18? Let's say
I
18.
don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
I
So it's
think
it's
over
not scaring
25.
you
I
away.
think north of 25 is when you start needing like the quarterbacks. Like when Hawkinson last week, was it last week with Dobbs when he had like 20 something plus?
Yeah,
Dobbs also had 20
Hawkinson had a
something
week.
points. You know, I think when tight ends start getting in that north of 25 range is when you kind of need that QB correlation.
All right, boys. This was the plan all along, the ultimate leverage play. I didn't want to have to pull it out this early, on Saturday. But Braxton Berrios, 2 touchdowns. I can't. I can't sell it.
Don't do it.
I can't sell
Don't
it.
do
I tried.
it.
I tried. It's river. It's river time. Could go Cedric Wilson. Could go Cedric.
I still
No.
wouldn't do it.
I know. I know. We're not gonna get too cute.
Yeah, it's
I need a
Nick and
running
Tua, man.
back, and I need a receiver, and one of them is gonna be a scroll down player because that's I
If
need
you
to
really
make up
want any
points.
correlation with Tua, I would say your best bet's Jacoby Myers. Probably.
I don't love it without Jimmy. I think it's
No, but I'm saying he's better than those other two receivers you
oh,
mentioned.
fuck. Kirk makes it back, and I can't. Oh my god. Is this just the ultimate? All right, I need to go James Conner. If I don't, I would probably have to go forward on the way
Yeah,
back
you
around.
should be probably smashing a running back, and it's probably Connor.
The fact that I have Ingram here, though,
I mean,
Ingram, if I go
is
Ingram Perk,
Herbert interest you with Foreman being questionable? I mean, Detroit's not really a great matchup. It's pretty terrible, but what if he's the only back they have?
I'm sorry, I completely missed.
Khalil Herbert.
Which, yeah.
Because
Uh,
Foreman's questionable, Rashawn's just not being used. I mean, what
first
if he's the
first
only
game
back?
back from injury, there is like Detroit's D lines
Mhm.
pretty mean. So
Right.
I'm just kind of fading all Chicago, which everyone is. So maybe that's a reason to draft it. But first game back from injury, I don't love it.
Yeah.
Ankle. This has to be a scroll down player on my last pick though, because I need to make up points basically. Because Tua, how does he hit? He hits with Hill or Waddle basically.
I don't know. Not
Or
necessarily. I mean, if Hill Waddle and then also like A
They
Chain or Mostert. Well, it's probably A Chain, but if A Chain gets a receiving touchdown, and he spreads out all the points, then it makes sense. But you're threading the
this
needle in that sense.
this draft is like the classic, "I'm gonna get my $25 back now." Like, that's and I think that's Tyler Lockett here.
It's all right. Some drafts go sideways. You don't intend for it, but you just you know throw a bunch of
Tua
shit
fa
together and
Tua falling that far
work.
was like the trap, and
Yeah,
I'm glad I showed everyone, "Don't fall for that trap."
I like my team.
Now I did just block a future, ticket, but no big deal. Took one for the team. Diggs, Laporta, Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Christian Kirk, and Goff in the last round. That feels really good. That feels really good
It's
with
in play.
Laporta too. It's it's on the fairway. It's on the fairway. Nice. So we're guaranteed Lockett here, and again, if he doesn't play, we just pick swap him for JSN, and we have the mini here with Cooper Cup. So it's not all bad.
Yep.
And if he plays, like he played a good amount of snaps last week. He played
If he plays,
80%.
you're hoping he that hamstring thing was just a smoke screen, and you know
A 3-day smoke screen is the scary part.
because if he does play and he was a DNP for 3 days in a row, it's tough to see like he's gonna get a full. Would he be able to get a full workload? It's just
That would be worst case scenario, right? Is like Lockett plays and he plays like 40% of snaps, which
yeah.
I don't think that happens. I think he's either
They
good
would
enough to
probably just
play
say don't play at all.
or
If
he's not, right? And
if we're only gonna put you in for 40%, it really doesn't make sense. You might as well
if
not
he's
play.
playing, I want to start him, like in this especially, like spike week guy. If he's not playing, perfect. All the better. Like I'm swapping for JSN, and
Yeah.
now JSN becomes a full-time player. And then Bobo gets all the points. I'm gonna do one more. You down?
Let's do it.
All right.
We got time. I think this will be my last dog bowl too, so that's good.
+8. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. Bathroom break. Timeout. We'll be right back. Smash the like. Four peeps. Let's go. Love that. All right. Oh, damn. Same time. We're on the same. Are we on the same P schedule, bro?
Oh no, I got up like a minute or two after you.
Dude, this contest, I just find it. I find it hard to go over like 92%.
Fantasy Garage. I could see a few different players from the Seattle versus Ram game going off.
Mhm.
definitely.
Mhm.
I
It's one of
definitely
the
need
higher
more
point
more
totals this
Puka.
week.
I haven't been drafting too much of him.
Let me pull up, Fantasy Life. They got a nice little visual of the spreads on the Game Hub. Gotta give it to them. Alright, let's do this.
I mean,
Pull this up here.
Cooper needs the revival game the most though.
So Seahawks Rams is a 46.5 total, and every other game is pretty mediocre. So Dolphins Raiders, but it's very heavily the Dolphin side, which is a good thing, which is why I think it's going to be tough to finish top 3 without a Dolphins piece. Just
Yeah,
kind of the
yeah.
way I
No,
see it this week.
Dolphins are pretty much the entire point total. Outside
Dude,
maybe like a touchdown from the Raiders, maybe 10
we
points
need
from the Raiders.
we need some quick research here. A 33-point total is the lowest I've seen in a very, very long time. And it's 2 winning teams. Like, they're both 6-3. Obviously, no Deshaun Watson, so but what does Deshaun Watson do?
That was
Does
like
he
there
does he
was like
make
a
this go up
spread last
3
weekend for
points?
like one of the college games. It
Mhm.
was it Michigan and who did Michigan play last weekend? The game total was like 28 and a half.
Yeah,
It was like 14
that's
points for each team.
disgusting.
And it's
That's
college
disgusting.
football. Like I've never seen a spread that low for a game total.
Never, never. +2. Yeah, that's also wild. This slate is like, I don't know, I feel like it's pretty polarizing with, like, the pieces and, like, of course, like, there's random pieces, like, Marquise Brown could be a guy this week that we wanna be mixing in, especially, like, obviously in those Houston stacks, but even as a
Yeah.
one-off, like, I think he's a good one-off this week. Um,
So tight ends.
yeah.
Highest rate of first read targets weeks 8 through 10. Do you want to take a guess who the top two are? And they're tied.
Is this percent-wise or total amount of
Percent.
targets?
Percent for first
Uh,
read targets. Weeks 8 through 10.
it could be anyone with percents.
Well, there's two
Uh,
guys. There's two guys that have the same percentage basically. And
first read, dude,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll try and help you out. One of these tight ends is not on the slate. One is.
Uh, I'll throw Ingram out there. Like, I know they do a fair amount
Okay.
of tight end, just like set plays for him,
Hmm.
but and he's getting like 7 plus targets every game.
Okay.
But
So
let me have a quick
it's
peek.
okay.
McBride. McBride's
Correct.
got to be up there too. Yeah, it's McBride.
He's the tight end that's on the slate. The other tight end is TJ Hawkinson. 38.2% for both of
Yeah,
them.
definitely. Yeah, I saw that's a 2-week old stat, but I think it still stands correct after last week.
Yeah.
It might have actually gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
No,
mean, yeah,
the second I
I was
pulled it
just bringing
up,
that up because you were bringing up Marquise Brown. I mean, he's due to have a game, obviously, but Trey McBride is just
just
dominating.
last year, man, Marquise Brown, when D Hop missed the first 6 games or 7 games of the year, so was it
Yep,
at PEDs? Like, Marquise Brown was a top 5, top 6 receiver. So, like,
yep,
has that much changed? We don't have D Hop. So, like, that's a good sign. Sure, first
right.
game back, and Marquise Brown did, like, what is it? Did he lose a step? Because remember those videos in training camp where it's like there is zero separation, and
Yeah, he
he's
looked
running
like
a
a
route,
tractor
and it
trailer
looks
running
like
around.
he looked like he was in high school. Go.
Yeah, that was a terrible video. Hilarious
We
though.
finally get blessed with the 3 spot here.
Who do you like here? I mean, because there's obviously three guys. I think between Lamb, Eckler, and Brown, it's pretty
Uh,
close.
I think this is how I rank them, and just because of, like, wide receiver is not deep at all, and it's even less deep in the dog bowls,
Mhm. I
where
mean,
running
I think
backs.
I have to put Eckler above St. Brown just because of
Mhm.
the Keenan Allen stuff going on.
And I'm cool with
I
that
think
too.
I think
I'm
he's
cool with
due
that
for a
too.
lot of volume if Allen's. a little
Mhm.
nicked up, you know?
A
And Green
and
Bay's
again,
not like a great they don't have a great run defense.
no. No, it's you can see Eckler getting 2 touchdowns this week, like, pretty easily, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Just with, like, Everett out, with all these pieces out. Like, if they're in the red zone, they're gonna lean on most likely Eckler.
In BRs, I've been basically taking Eckler top three. So CMC, Hill,
Interesting.
Eckler. I've
Mhm.
been kind of fading Lamb a little bit because I think this Carolina team, their secondary is a little better than people realize. They're not a good team, but their secondary is like top seven.
Mhm.
And then Eckler's playing Green Bay, top like
I'm
23% for run
I'm
defense.
I'm still gonna play Lamb just because of, like, bro,
Just because
we've
like his
seen him
stat line, like
smash
it's 100,
3 weeks in a
150 plus
row.
yards every game, 14, 11 receptions on 14 targets.
I also don't have a Lamb Dak team, and I'm just sorta hoping to he should be able to get 1. But every time I think this is only my 1st or 2nd share.
Mhm.
I think this is my 2nd share. I didn't get Lamb Dak on the 1st one.
Yeah. Go Cards. Marquise Brown, 100% snaps last week with Murray, ticking time bomb until that stack hits. I agree. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting used a ton.
Now Houston has a pretty good secondary, but, there's so many, like, bring back pieces in this game that you can play with. You can play with Singletary, you can play, Nico, Tank, Schultz, like, there's a lot of
Speaking of that,
possibilities.
who do you like? Gun to your head. I mean, Tank Dell or Nico. I mean, Tank Dell's going ahead of Nico, which I
So,
don't know if I think it's right.
ceiling wise, I still am on team Nico, but yeah, I have to go Nico. You have to give it to Tank Dell. He's getting a lot of the first read looks, so, like, there is a
Right.
connection there with
And Nico's
Stroud for
Nico's apparently when Nico wasn't, he was opening up a lot of routes for Tank Dell with how
mhm.
they utilize him. So, but
But is Noah Brown the guy though? You know what I mean? Is Noah Brown the guy? Like, you want the ceiling plays, right? So, like, I'm always gonna lean towards the ceiling play, and I just view Tank Dell as like a shiny new Adam Thielen. Like,
true. That's
a
dude. That's a
lesser
great
Amon-Ra,
comparison. I think.
a
Yeah,
lesser
I like that.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, I'm just always gonna lean for ceiling because that's how you win these contests. Now, Tank Dell's and it's probably unfair for me to say that because Tank Dell has already won people tickets. Like, he won someone a ticket this week.
Yeah.
Um, so
Honestly, a lot of the Houston pieces have won people tickets. I'm pretty sure Nez won when he had Nico Collins. So
dude, and Adam Thielen's won people multiple tickets. Like, so that takes been off. So whatever. That's just the
I'm
way I
so
lean.
happy my unique piece was Palmer. Like, thank God I was able to buy myself a nice Chargers jersey and not a crappy Carolina
Dude, what was
Thielen
that thing?
jersey.
29.99.
For
Should
what,
have
the
bought it
jersey?
after the injury, bro. It would have been on sale.
Oh, true. No,
Uh,
Palmer's not injured, is he?
bro, he's not playing
Oh
this week,
wait, yes he
man.
is. Yes he is. Yes he is. Yes he
He's
is.
not even playing this
Yes he
week.
is. You're right.
He's
It's Quentin
out.
Johnston.
But that's why, like, Keenan Allen is like, he shouldn't be going this late. I almost got him at 11 the other draft. Like,
Yeah,
that
but um, Green Bay's Green Bay's got what's his name, right? Alexander.
Shamir, yeah.
I mean, that's a brutal matchup, especially with like a nagging shoulder sprain or
Keen
whatever he's got,
all
joint
the more,
sprain.
bro. Separation and get down. Don't wanna get hit.
I'm a little
He's
nervous
not
about Allen, honestly, with this matchup and the injury part of it. But I mean, who else? It's
there's
not gonna.
just no
I
one
don't know about
else,
Quentin
man.
Johnston. That's why
QJ's
I
a
like
sneaky
Eckler.
play. QJ's a sneaky play this week, but you need he's gonna be a last round pick, which is fine, and you probably need 14 points plus in this round, maybe like 16 if it's not a tight end, obviously.
Man, I'm gonna do something different because I don't think he comes back, and I just don't. This is my last draft. I want a player I don't have much of. I'm gonna go
Cool.
with Puka.
Cool.
I think it's like my only team with Puka, honestly. So
I like it. I like it. A little different combination. I think that's so strong, man, to like leverage 75+% of the field if you're right on that combination. Just reaching up a little bit, but you also have to like keep track of ADPs throughout the week. I think that's also important.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember with Puka. I know he was like dealing with. He wasn't a full participant until Thursday. I'm pretty
He's
sure.
he
So
started higher, right? Like he started around like 18 ADP. So he's fallen.
okay.
So Dak comes back to me. I kind of want to push him till after this pick, but is there someone that I absolutely need?
I think you can push Dak, honestly, especially if Tua is going to be on the board because you know the Hill team is probably going to take Tua. You only worry about the CMC squad going quarterback.
Yeah, I think if this is like a
Maybe you
Josh
give yourself an
Jacobs
option
pick,
where you go DJ Moore and then now you have Fields as well. Oh, never mind.
no,
Fields
Fields
is off.
gone. Fields gone.
Um,
I think I go Dak here. I solidify it, and I go one of these tight ends, or
yeah,
even Deebs,
you definitely want to take one of those tight ends.
or it can even double stack, and that's probably even more unique if it is a Fergie week, which 3 touchdowns in a row.
Well, if Ferg and Lamb both have great games, it's going to push Dak over the edge like it did last week.
Mhm.
So, but I
Yeah,
don't think I
let's-
could. I don't think I can justify taking Ferg over like Trey McBride if he's on the board. I just can't do it.
this is going to be what a Kincaid pick. But you're also making that bet on Dak, right? Like when you're doing this, you're selecting him in the second round. Like you're saying he plays better than Sam Howell in the last round. Like he outscores all those QBs in the last round. Like he also
Right.
outscores all these QBs in the second round. And how is he going to do that? It's not all going to go to Lamb. Um,
I see what you mean.
so let's make a concentrated bet here on the passing game. I think it will be unique. And he only has to outscore 2 tight ends. Well, really 4, right? 4 or 5.
Yep.
I guess he doesn't have to outscore Kittle, but he definitely has to outscore, these guys that are going in that same range.
Love
Guess you
Star
could
said you should have went Laporta then Dak. Could have done that.
Yeah, yeah. And I was that's the thing, like, it's going to leverage all these tight ends if he can just outscore 4 players, 4 or 5 players, which if we're making that bet on Dak, I'm cool with it.
Go Card says I have an Allen Puka and Dog. Do you want the rest so you don't dupe me? No, I want. I want to know who you took. Give me the players.
Damn.
Give it to me.
Dude, Charles is fully trained. Fully trained. Animal. Animal. This is fun, not unique, but fun. Um, I have to get on like the Monday night drafting because there's just so many players that are mispriced
Oh,
on ADP Open.
100%. Yep.
Look at this. 3 QBs in a row, 3 tight ends in a row.
And I really wanted McBride,
We're
but
seeing Tua fall multiple times today to the Hill team.
I'm gonna go Debo.
Love
Debo
that.
or Collins. Collins doesn't make sense. Stroud's not available.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
plenty of running backs that I like.
Dude, that's a fire start. It's a fire start.
Seems good.
Just so deep at running back.
Yeah, I got so many running backs on the board. There's no point in taking one right now. There's at least a handful that are in play.
Okay. Oh my God. Underdog just tweeted out David Montgomery has scored a rushing touchdown every outing where he didn't leave early due to injury. Now he has a revenge game against his former team, the Bears. It doesn't say that.
I kind of
I added
forgot
it in for
about that,
effect.
dude. I forgot about the revenge game part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost forgot he was a bear for a second. Yeah, he's gonna want some blood for sure.
Yeah, they're going to give it to him. They're going to give it to him.
I love taking players with revenge
He
games. It
goes
feels
in
so
the
good
second.
when they smash.
I was going to say second round seems early, but I like the pairing with HN. Because HN usually goes around here. So we're like, obviously, Demont's not making it back as often to
Mhm.
back here, where HN regularly goes. So, like, whatever, to 34.
Right.
Tanner double taps RB with Brees and Aaron Jones. Marquise Brown, kind of figured that was coming. I would have liked to get a Marquise Brown one off for this
Nice.
team, but
Give me Singletary. I was getting
very
nervous
nice.
for a second because it was definitely Robinson, Brees, Jones, and
Hmm.
Singletary for me.
Hmm.
And then the other running backs, I kind of was like a little bit of like didn't want them necessarily.
All right, let's see who comes back. DK's gone.
All right, so me and Cards, we are no longer, aligned.
Oh,
He's got
that's funny
Lockett, I
with
have
his
Samuel,
roster.
he's got Jones, I got Singletary, so we're good.
Buddy, it's okay to dupe. Like, it's fine to dupe in this contest because 3 people win. 3 people win. All right, this team can't take a running back, and the teams after me both need wide receivers and RBs. I guess is Kirk light years ahead of the rest of the players on the board? And am I just
I still like Wilson, man, just because of his volume. I think not taking that Wilson pick in that Kincaid draft was a little bit of a mistake on our end, but I mean, come on, dealing
yeah.
over Wilson, bro.
Then we're
What are we doing? You're crazy. You're nuts.
gotta do it. Gotta do
You are
it.
nuts.
Gotta do it. We're
I mean,
stacking this game.
you're going for the game. I get it.
We're stacking the game. We're invested in this game.
Might as well
And
go
running
Rico.
backs,
Might as well go Rico while you're at it.
give him the Rico. This
Where's
is
Rico at? Does he have an ADP?
dude, no way. James Conner gets reached on. He's the 4th best available RB on the board. I just flip him to the top. He just instantly just pop.
Yo, Rico,
That's
13
the way
points
I
last
see
week.
it too.
Maybe that's who you need too with this Dallas stack.
Yeah. We're good, man. We're good there. We're
All
good.
right.
Dude, Dak has been on fire in the red zone. Like, I don't see them, and this is like the Tony Pollard, the anti Tony Pollard take is like, if
Mhm.
Dak's on fire in the red zone, aren't they just going to keep throwing the ball? Like, the dude can't miss right now. Where if he was struggling, like, sure, you're going to hand it off. All right, so we get Derrick Henry. It's just like a last RB tier off the board gift. After that, I think it's like Jerome Ford, to be honest.
Yeah,
Aren't they just going to
for
run
the
the
volume.
ball like the
Yeah,
whole
I mean he's
time?
getting like 15 plus touches the last 2 games. So,
Yeah.
yeah, CD Lamb
Still
last
have a
week had
strong O line.
CD Lamb had 5 snaps inside the red zone. Tony Pollard had 4. Rico had 2, and
Dude.
Ferguson had 3.
That's because they were scoring from fucking everywhere last week.
Right.
They were scoring from everywhere. All right, let's see. You need a QB and a tight end. A lot available. Brock Purdy just went off the board to the
Yeah,
squad.
Purdy would have been nice.
Staffy just goes off the board. So like really quickly, there goes 2 options.
Yeah, I mean, I have to. Unfortunately, I'm gonna probably take tight end first and just hope
2 teams after you need a QB.
this guy has Waddle and Evans. He could go kind of anywhere, so he could technically go Herbert too if he wanted. This guy's got no core. He could go could go any quarterback. I'm gonna just take Ingram though because I think he's.
Yeah, there's definitely a tear drop off
I
after
think I
after
think
Ingram.
I think he is a difference besides these quarterbacks.
Would you ever double stack that though and go Herbert and then just par him on the way back around?
You could
Then
have.
double stack Keenan Allen?
Yeah, you could have. I could have done that as well, but it gives me now. I need an option of 3 quarterbacks, which is probably Herbert, Goff, and then Lawrence at this
Yeah.
point.
The volume's so good for
I
Ingram.
think
It's
Touch of
just like,
Green's going to do exactly what you said. He's going to go Herbert and hope Parham comes back. But
nope.
this
Chalk.
turn is like a free for all.
Yeah, so it
It
didn't
wasn't
matter.
going to
Like,
work.
no. But you still would have had the stack with Keenan Allen, but now you again you open yourself up
I think
to
logically my
T-Law.
pick makes sense now. Now I can go Lawrence as like a emergency pick.
Yeah, for sure. Unless this guy likes Travis Etienne with Lawrence. Which then you could just go Goff. Like, that's what I like about Goff is it's not a condensed offense, and, like, naked Goff doesn't ever really feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Goff's got a great matchup. He's
Yeah, for sure.
Detroit's like one of the worst defenses against quarterbacks.
I wonder if Ridley makes it back. I'll probably go Ridley for that mini stack with Derrick Henry, and I'm just all in on 2 games.
That could be what you need, honestly.
Again, we don't get a chance to draft a Miami piece in the 3 spot.
Yeah, normally Mostert makes it back
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Just solo RB Mostert,
But Touch of Green was locked in,
Ridley off the board.
absolutely locked.
Can't go D-Hop. Man, for me, the next best option seems like Tyler Lockett.
Dude, can Trevor Lawrence have a good game? I mean, can the guy just figure it out at this point? He's got good, like weapons.
Dude, early season, they were fine. Like, ETN was just scoring the touchdowns. There's a stretch where ETN scored 2 rushing touchdowns, like 3 games in a row. Like, Trevor Lawrence was driving the ball like just fine. He just wasn't getting the titties, which obviously affects Ingram too. Ingram's been great though, man.
I don't know if last game he was.
Like, not fantasy wise, but like football wise, he's been like a good go-to move the chains tight end for them.
Yeah, he's
Oh my
definitely better
God.
than when he was on the Giants.
Dude, all my favorite picks are off the board. This line of scrimmage. I'm not even gonna cue someone up. I know you're lurking somewhere. First time listener, not logged into YouTube, didn't like the video, definitely didn't sub. I know who you are. You don't get run good that way. You get run good by signing into your mom's YouTube account, subscribing to the channel, drafting Jerome Ford in the last round. These are the ways. I'm trying to help.
I like Ford, man.
Yeah.
I like Ford a lot.
I like Ford better than these
Hopefully he gets.
options.
But the downside with Ford is that Kareem Hunt seems to be there. He's getting a lot of the red zone looks for some reason. But Ford's
Charles
still
likes Reed. I like Reed too.
yeah, Reed's fun.
I like Reed too, but I feel like
No,
I
Reed's a
want
good pick, honestly. He seems fun
he
too.
is.
But
He is.
I go for volume first, which is like guaranteed for Ford.
There's gonna be a shit ton of opportunity, I think, for both of these running backs with Kareem Hunt and Ford.
Dude, this could be
And
like a ugly game. I
it's
could
gonna
see
be an ugly
Pittsburgh
game,
and Cleveland
but
just keeping the ball on the ground. It doesn't work through the air.
yeah,
Um, and then Ford just gets like 15 plus touches, and you're hoping he rips off
yeah.
one for a touchdown.
Cleveland has like people forget like Cleveland still has one of the top O lines. Like they're gonna run the ball. They don't have their starting QB. They're gonna
And
run
their
the ball
defense
even
is good enough to
more.
keep
Yeah.
Pittsburgh from scoring points, which means it
Right.
could be
Low
like a
scoring
really
game.
low scoring game.
Dude, this game's gonna be over in an hour and 45 minutes. It's gonna be all
It's not the
running.
game you want to watch.
No, it's not. You don't want to watch it, but your points will go up.
Yep.
All right, guys. I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. If you enjoyed today's video, slap the like on the way out. Give Nick a follow on the Twitter machine. Link is in the comments. Nick, do you have anything for the people?
Yeah, good luck everybody in the streets on Underdog. Good luck in dog bowl contests and BRs. It's going to be interesting to see who wins one of the 3 tickets this week.
Hell yeah. Now we'll be keeping updated. Everyone jump into the Discord. If you're not already, I'll throw that link in the chat as well. You can find myself, Nick, all the pounders there off stream. Appreciate everyone coming out. And again, good luck this week. Tomorrow's Sunday. Let's go. Pounders.